What is up, guys? Today we're going to talk about why young people are not buying Harley Davidson. All right, so now that I've turned 34 years old, I don't think I'm capable of saying I'm a young person anymore, especially in the Harley game. I know the boomers or the older mentality, like nowhere near their age, but it's always funny to say and tell people that being 34, I feel like I'm the normal, or at least closer to the older side of what I see in the Harley world. I feel like my age is kind of normal and then a little bit younger. And I think some people are like, what are you talking about? If you're not 60, why are you on Harley? And that's just not true. But let's kind of talk about like why younger people are not buying Harley or what's going on with their business. So, first off, when we're talking about buying Harley Davidson, that means new, right? So, corporate doesn't make any money when I go and buy a bike off Facebook Marketplace, which I have done multiple times recently. They don't make any money. Uh, two reasons. One, because they didn't sell it. It was something they sold, years ago or 20 years ago. And they don't make any money off service because most Harley dealers won't even service that bike. And then they don't make money off parts because unless it's something like highly specific or, just something I just have to have from Harley, there's no reason to go to a dealership and get parts for a 20-year-old motorcycle. And even on the newer stuff, like let's take a look at my bike right here. So even my 2018 Road Glide, I did buy it new because it was a huge change in 2017 and then a huge change in 2018 and then honestly a huge change again in 2019. They were changing these bikes like crazy and it was a massive price drop when they went to the 17s. And then they did it again in 2025. And that hurt and helped, in my opinion, the Harley game. The value of this bike plummeted. If I were to trade this in at a Harley dealer, they might give me 15 grand, if that. It'd probably be closer to like 12 or 10. So, am I going to go trade this in and buy a new bike? Absolutely not. I would sell it on the used market. Which also means to get this comparable bike, it would cost me over 30 grand at the Harley dealership now. I could buy something like this on Marketplace less than 20,000. So why would I spend a third more going to the Harley Davidson dealer and getting a brand new one when I can get this that is more than capable of doing what I want, doing what I need? It just doesn't make sense. Now, I know this bike is not the nicest thing in the world, but it's kind of my point is I feel like the younger generation does not care about getting something brand new for multiple reasons. One, they don't want to pay that money. Harley is still fighting. I will say it to the end of the earth. They are still fighting and competing with what they did 20 years ago. They made bikes that have stood the test of time, and the aftermarket has taken care of the motorcycles that there just isn't as much of a reason to go to the new dealer and get something brand new off the showroom floor. It just doesn't make as much value sense. And then secondly, the younger generation is also in love with the modified culture. So it's way better to buy this bike for 15 and then spend less than 15 on this bike and have a way better bike by all metrics than what you could get brand new from Harley. And who cares about a 2-year warranty? The warranty at Harley means absolutely nothing. Well, could there be a defect? Yeah, maybe. But most people aren't going to see problems within 2 years. I mean, 2 years is not a very long amount of time in a bike's life cycle, unless you're somebody who uses a primary mode of transportation or just is like, how many miles can I put on this thing in 2 years? The chances of you breaking something are slim to none. This bike has 45,000 miles on it. No real issues. So it just doesn't make sense to do anything with their warranty. And then if something does go bad on a warranty, a lot of times people want to upgrade. They don't want that stock stuff back in there. So what's the point? And then furthermore, what can you get for your money? So let's show you that. So this is a bike that I picked up just a few days ago. Now it's got a seat and everything. The battery is dead. It doesn't currently run because I can't really get it to, it doesn't really want to jump over too well. It turns over, but it's carbureted. We have fuel, we have all that stuff. We just probably need to get a battery in it and see how she goes. But we paid $3,500 for this. It runs, or it sits good, everything looks good. It's got 6,000 miles on it. It's probably going to run just fine. It really can't be that bad. The fluids are good. 3,500 miles, or 6,100 miles for 3,500 bucks, we should not have a problem. So if the cheapest bike that Harley makes is $10,000, which in my opinion, that is awesome. So that's great, but it's really hard to still compete when you can get a bike like that and then put like $5,000 worth of upgrades into something like that. You can have a super cool bike that the younger people are into, cross the country on, and still be under 10 grand. And pretty much everything is available on that bike. Now, I will attest that Harley does have the Nightster, and I think the MSRP on that is 10. So that's really great. Harley's having great options as far as those are concerned. But when it comes to baggers, they don't have a super... Now, a lot of people are starting to pick up on like the police bikes, and they just want something stripped down. People don't want a decked out Harley, or people don't want a Harley and go to the parts catalog and get everything from Harley, all the bells and whistles and all that stuff. The reason why Harley made money isn't because of all the motorcycles they were selling. Harley made money because an older person, we'll just call them boomers, would go get a new bike and then go spend crazy amounts of money on accessories that Harley made a lot of money off of. All the little chrome trinkets that people would buy from Harley and put on their bike. Like, that was just insane profit for them. The younger generation wants nothing to do with that. They either want just some basic bike or top tier, and they're just like, cool, we're just going to live with it. Or a lot of them, like me, if I were to go buy a new Harley right now, I want the cheapest thing you can get me. What do I care? I'm going to change everything about it anyways. I'm going to make it my own. The exhaust, seat, handlebars, probably air cleaner, they're all changing. So why do I want to spend extra money on that? Give me a motor, give me a frame, give me something that goes down the road. I'm cool with that. So I do think it's a very unique problem, and a problem that no other manufacturer is dealing with. That's why it's very unique. And I think Harley's struggling because they don't know what to do. And honestly, I don't know what to tell you. Harley has never, in my lifetime, sold motorcycles. They've sold a brand and they've sold a culture, which I think is a good thing. I think Harley's probably just doing fine. They're not going anywhere, but when you look at the metrics, as far as selling actual units, yeah, they might be hurting a little bit, but I think it's going to come down to like maybe trimming some fat and just reinvesting in the culture that loves Harley Davidson. But you don't have to go to the dealer and buy a brand new bike to be a part of it. You don't have to get anything out of their catalog. Harley's just got to find a way to make money, and honestly, that might be from media. I think they need to tap into their culture side of things and start being one of the first companies to really make money off of media. Obviously, merch sales and accessories and different things like that, they do that better than anybody. Everyone jokes about, being a t-shirt brand that also offers motorcycles. Well, they do that better than anybody, so they might need to lean into that. But are younger kids not buying Harleys? That is a false statement. They're just not hanging out where you are, and they're not buying new ones from the dealer. The Harley culture is alive and well, and it is completely changing. When I go to the type of Harley events and different things I go to is way different than any boomer would ever want or would go to. It is way closer to skate, punk, and drift culture than anything else. Harley's alive and well. I'd love to know what you think about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see if we have a difference of opinion. Keep it wretched.